Hey, welcome back to Pivot or Die, where we discuss major brand pivots. Today, we're talking to an amazing entrepreneur here in Austin, Rafaella. She is the founder of Vlogmi. And I wanted to start at the beginning. What made you excited about building Vlogmi? What brought this idea to life? And how did you build it with you and your whole family?
Yeah, so initially the idea started from my older brother Luke being in high school. Like that was the very first iteration of Vlogme was he wanted to build a new social media app that was more authentic, more genuine, more in the moment, not so many like beauty filters, stuff like that. And right then and there, that was like 2016 or something. My dad bought us the domain.
Oh, cool.
And yeah, that was like the first idea of it. It got shelved for a few years when we moved to the Philippines. But then when I graduated high school and my parents had recently stepped away from the company that they were building in the Philippines, we were like, let's do something as a family. And my dad asked us, he said, do you guys think Vlogme has any legs? Do you guys want to figure that out? And then Luke and I were like, yeah. Or me, Luke, and my oldest brother, Leroy, at the time. And then my whole family was on board and we just all went full steam ahead on it.
Very cool.
Yeah.
What was that first iteration of Vlogme like? I know that you were wanting people to take photos in a more genuine way, remove kind of the unhealthy obsession with filters and that like perfect life. But maybe you can just walk us through a little bit of like the mechanics of what that looked
Yeah.
like.
So it was kind of Be Real before Be Real was a thing, actually.
Right.
It was like Be Real if Be Real and TikTok had a baby, it would have
Yeah.
been Vlogme.
Right.
And so it was a social media app that was dedicated towards posting authentic in the moment content. And so we still wanted creators to, like post creatively and create content, but the catch was that everything had to be taken in the moment, like right here, right now. And so that was what we were building for a few years, like 2 or 3 years or something. We focused 100% on building this social media app. Um, but yeah, it was, and then Be Real came out and we're like, oh wow, like that's kind of like Vlogme. And it that wasn't the reason why we pivoted, but it
Okay.
was part of it. Like just seeing how fast it grew and then died was part of us being like, oh, interesting. That's an interesting way for that brand to go.
Hmm.
Um,
So you witnessed it die, and
yes,
then you
yeah.
were like, maybe we need to pivot.
Honestly, it was more so that we were building for monetizing, and
Mm.
so we didn't want our main monetization to be so many ads in app, like native ads,
Yeah.
because I know that people hate those.
Right.
And so we were building out our monetization, which one of them was going to be like helping creators grow on the platform.
Mm.
And so like giving them content suggestions, looking at their audience, and then people were getting really interested in that monetization of Vlogme. And people started paying more attention to that and we're like, well, maybe we can help them grow on Vlogme and off Vlogme.
Yeah.
And so then we're like, okay, well, we can help them grow on Instagram and TikTok too. And then when people started seeing that, they're like, oh, that's really cool. And so we're like, okay, let's just launch with this first, Let's help people grow on Instagram and grow on TikTok. And then eventually it just became what it is today, which is helping them grow on social media apps like TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. And now we don't have the social media part of it ourselves.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So
Mm-hmm.
it's gone through a major pivot. I would say it's like
Yeah,
completely different than what it originally was. And
definitely.
how did you so you did describe a little bit of how you guys got there, because you found a need and you were really hearing feedback from your users that
Mm-hmm.
this was the part that had legs.
Yep.
Um, did it feel, I feel like when people pivot, they're often like very attached to their initial idea rather than like listening to their users like you guys did. Um, did it feel hard to let go of like pretty much the entire structure of your business and letting that go and then completely restructuring it? I know you also integrated AI into this,
Mm-hmm.
so I'm sure that that trend had a lot to do with it. But
Yep.
what did that feel like as entrepreneurs to like decide that together as a family to just let go and go a completely different direction?
Yeah, honestly, it felt very natural.
Mm.
Like it wasn't. like, okay, now we're doing this. It was like,
Okay.
it was a slow burn to get to where we are now, because at first we were building both, and then we're like, okay, let's focus a bit more on this one, and then we'll shelf the social media app for a little bit, and it's still there, but
Right.
we'll focus on the monetization. And then we're like, well, what if we just make it its own app? And then eventually it just became like, well, now we're focusing 100% on this, and our investors really like it, new investors really like it, our users love it, and a lot more people are way more interested in what we're doing now. And so it did not feel like it was an overnight thing where we just switched to something else. It was like over the course of like a few months, or like 3 months or something, where we were like teetering in between, and then eventually at the end we're like, oh, we should probably send out like a shareholder update saying like, hey, we're doing this now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How many shareholders do you have right now?
So we have like quite a few people on our like updates list. So it was like those supporters as well as our investors. I honestly don't know how many we have, because we have our like family on board, and then we also have like friends and family who are early investors, and then like more recent angels and stuff.
Oh, cool. Yeah, and you also have had a really cool thing happen, which is you were featured in Forbes.
Yeah.
And that was in the 20 under 20?
30 under 30.
Oh, 30
yeah.
under 30. Okay, you
Yeah.
look great.
Thank you.
Yeah. But what was that like? That's such a major win. That's like every entrepreneur's dream, really. And did you even apply? I think you told me you didn't even apply.
Yeah, so the way it happened was Cherie from Fiesta.
Oh, she's so amazing.
I know, I love
Shout
Cherie.
out to
Shout out Cherie. Shout out Fiesta.
Everyone in Austin, go to Fiesta night.
But she nominated Luke and I for Austin Inno 25 under 25.
That's so nice.
And then we made it to that list. A few of our friends made it to that list. And I guess eventually a Forbes editor saw that, and they were making the Austin list. And so Luke was DM'd on LinkedIn, and he was like, hey, Forbes just reached out to me saying, would we want to answer a few questions and potentially like do Forbes 30 under 30? So we're like, hell yeah. And it was literally just like a LinkedIn back and forth. It was just LinkedIn DMs, and it was just like questions about like, how much have you raised? Like, how many users do you have? Things like that. And we answered the questions. We went back and forth with them a little bit more, and then we just like didn't really hear from them. And then they're like, so if you were to make the list, this is what your blurb would look like. And it was not correct. like they had said we raised like millions of dollars. We had like millions of users on our platform, and we're like, that's not correct, actually. We're pre-launch. We have around like 1,000 users on our app that are like beta testers, and we've raised like $200,000. It's not like we haven't raised like 1.5 mil. And then she's like, okay, cool. And then like a few days later we made the list, and they didn't change anything.
They didn't update it.
Yeah.
So you tried to be honest. I mean, like, it's out of your hands,
right?
now.
Yeah.
Well, how did that, I mean, that may have really helped. That feels very American to just be like, this is how we're both Canadian. So it's a bit of a different, that's a bit of one of the culture shocks. It's just like people really like overstate things. And so, yeah, that's so funny. Like they were just like, oh, well, like this will be a better article. We're just going to put up that you guys
like, this is way more interesting. Their story's really boring, actually.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. So has that helped impact you getting more investors? Did that spiral like another round of interest?
Not directly, but I feel like in having a bit more, I don't know, I guess, like
street cred?
Like street cred, yeah. It hasn't like directly helped us. Actually, funny story, when we went to the Forbes conference, like the year before it was in like Dubai, and then it was in like the Bahamas, and then right as soon as we got on the list, they signed a 4-year contract with Jobs Ohio. So
it's just in Ohio.
Yeah, we went to Cleveland for our Forbes summit. It was really fun.
Yeah, not a bad area.
Yeah,
but that's hilarious. Dubai versus
Cleveland, and when we got to Cleveland, like the founder life, like the founder struggles, our phones had shut off when we got to Cleveland.
Why?
Because we couldn't pay the bill.
Oh.
Like we had spent like the last of our like cash on getting those like tickets to and from in our hotel.
Yeah.
And so we were like just going around Cleveland, just like without phones because they didn't connect to anything. And so
no.
like when we were trying to like get an Uber home from somewhere, we're like, okay, we have to walk in Cleveland in like November.
That's like such a Vlogmi real
right?
telling and take of what happened.
Yep.
That's like, I'm glad you shared that because people don't realize like that's just like that shows you the shininess of online, you know, publications
Right?
and online life versus the reality of the situation. You guys have just like put all of your investment. That must be so crazy to just, I mean, it's so wonderful at the same time and inspiring that your whole family is backing you guys and like and working together on this. That's so cool. But it also, I just can't imagine how stressful that must be when like you guys are starting to go through those phases where you have to make major investments, where you're running out of money. Like, how do you kind of work as a family to make that happen? And like,
we just all are like all hands on deck. We're all trying to make something happen. Like my parents will even like go to networking events with us and just like pull people towards me. They're like, "Have you met my daughter yet?" And then just like bring me some dude who said he's like an investor or something. That happens a lot. And yeah, we're just all like 100% in it. Like my family likes to say like we bet the ranch on this. So we're just like our family motto is that we're not dead yet. So if we're not dead yet, how bad can it really be?
Are they all entrepreneurs? Like,
yes.
Okay, and 100%. Then is it were their parents entrepreneurs or no?
Yes, yeah.
They were? Okay.
I will say it like runs in the family.
Yeah, cool.
Not so as risky as my parents were though.
Okay, yeah. So wait, what was the phrase again?
We're not dead yet.
I love that. I love that. That's the Vlogmi phrase. Can you tell us about like maybe the biggest, not fight, but like difference of opinion you've had to kind of navigate as a family when building Vlogmi?
Honestly, there hasn't really been anything that big because at the end of the day, like we're all on the same team, and any like disagreements we have, we just talk about it, and it doesn't really turn into an argument. It's just a discussion. Like the only arguments we really have is just like kind of getting annoyed with each other, and that's just like slamming the door or something, you know. Like it's nothing. It's not a big deal, and so there's never really been like a really difference in like direction or opinion on how something should go, because if there ever is, I know why they feel that way and why they like would prefer it to be that way or why they think that it's that way, and I trust them 100%. And so like I think as long as you have trust, there's never like any reason to like argue over anything, and you just talk about it.
Trust, and it sounds like a belief. Yes. You know, like just a real belief that this is going to happen, and so everybody's working towards it. That's so cool and like so rare and really beautiful. Like such
we have
a unique
no
part
doubt
of your story
in our minds that this is gonna work, because I mean you kind of have to be a bit delusional to be a founder. So.
Yeah, of course, of course, yeah. But I mean, in the best way. I mean, you're delusional yet practical. I mean, you're building something that is really needed. I mean, I'm not sure if we really discussed what Vlogmi looks like today, so maybe, tell me about where Vlogmi looks like today and where you want to take it.
Yeah, so right now we're helping creators and influencers, anyone who wants to make content, get more views and engagement on social media. So right now that's TikTok and Instagram, and help them hit the Explore page more frequently. And so like we'll help you come up with ideas, and then once you have an idea, build it out, give you a whole outline, give you hooks that are proven to work. And so we have a whole database of like proven viral hooks.
Yeah.
And then based on whatever prompt you give Vlogmi of what you want to make that day, then we'll give you some hooks for that, give you a whole outline and shot list. And then you go ahead and make the content. We don't want to make it for you.
That's so cool. It's so cool. I mean, this is an app, so it's not necessarily a service, unless it is too. Do you also have like one-on-one service calls and things like that?
It's more so like a SaaS tool for creators.
Yeah.
I do like consulting for brands and then some creators and stuff, but that's more like on the side, and I use Vlogmi as my own tool for that stuff.
Yeah.
But for Vlogmi as like an app, like you can go ahead and go to the website and use it, and like I mean, if you need my help, I guess you could message me.
Yeah. I know you're pretty open, which is really cool. I think that it's such a cool tool because it's not ChatGPT. It's like a completely new, like you said, it's specifically aimed at creating virality and viral hooks, and it gives you more data than you might initially think to even ask for, which I really appreciate about it. I've been like playing around with it a lot lately. Yeah, it's super cool. I love how it gives like it walks you through the outcome or the goals of what you're looking to receive, like especially when it comes to a call to action. You often like forget how like what you know what the call to action is, but sometimes you have like 3 or 4 in your mind you don't realize that you're putting into one post. That's something that I've found it's really helped me through.
Nice.
And yeah, it's very cool. Can you kind of describe to everybody what they would get out of it versus just using ChatGPT, for example?
Yeah, so, for me, I like to tell like tech bros this because a lot of them, like, I go to so many like startup events and networking events and stuff, and they'll be like, well, why don't they just use ChatGPT? And I'm like, well, influencers are not tech bros. Like, they don't know how to prompt like we do. Like, we are in such a bubble. Like, 99% of them do not use that. It's just like saying, why don't like TikTok influencers use Adobe Premiere Pro instead of CapCut? Because it's easier.
Yeah.
And so if there's an easier alternative, they're going to use that one because they don't care about like all of the tricks of it. They don't care like about the tech behind it. They care about like the outcome it's going to give them.
Yeah.
And so if like you can use ChatGPT, but you're going to have to prompt it a lot. You're going to have to like make it learn everything about you.
Yeah.
And where our secret sauce really comes in is it updates with your own audience's characteristics at 2 a.m. every day. So
really?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know it was doing that.
On the iOS app, it does that.
Cool.
We're working right now to connect the back ends of the web app and the iOS app.
Okay, so the iOS app is better or has more features.
Yes.
Okay, I've been using the desktop. I'm going to upgrade it.
Nice.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, and so it'll show you like your audience is right now interested in country music, coffee shops, things like that. And then it'll tailor the content suggestions towards those interests. And so that's just like a lot of scraping. And so like ChatGPT can't scrape anything. It wouldn't know that about your audience unless you yourself are paying a lot of attention to your audience.
Very cool. No, it's so true. And I think also you're right about just simple prompts. Like you'd have to remember every single prompt like this. It just like kind of gives you more than what you thought you would need. And it's so helpful for that. Do you think that people will go viral if they use what is outputted like verbatim? Or do you kind of believe in taking that as a resource and adding your own human touch to it?
I believe in that. Like
the second one?
Yeah, because you can follow it frame per frame, but like I still believe in the creator having creative control. And so we're more of like a brainstorming tool. Because I would hope that you would use our tool, you would see the outline, follow it, but then add your personality to it.
Sure.
Because that's really what people are looking for. They're not looking for like generic stuff, they're looking at you. Like that's the whole point. They're looking at content is like to connect with that creator. And so, yeah, we like to tell people you can follow it frame per frame, or you can like just take it as a loose guide or just get the hooks from it. There's people doing all 3 of those versions right now using it.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to like experiment and see which ones perform better. Do you where do you see the future of content creation and also maybe even like monetizing yourself as a creator? I feel like that's changing so rapidly. Where do you see that in the future?
So many people ask me about like AI generated content, and I get where they're coming from, and it is getting really good. But I think with the rise of AI generated content, people are going to be looking and like yearning for like human connection way more. And so like, yes, there's going to be really good AI generated content, but I think what you're actually going to be able to monetize is like the real human connection, because you can like generate content with AI, but then like how are you going to monetize like bots engaging with bots,
Yeah.
And so like if you have a real human audience connecting to like a real person, then that's where the engagement's going to come from, or like the engagement that matters at least. And also like selling whatever product you're trying to sell.
That's so interesting coming from an AI tool founder, but you do kind of, you see it as a tool. I mean, most people do see it as a tool rather than a replacement, but it's like, I just find it so, I think that there's a lot of resistance around integrating AI because it's just like, why is it taking away like the fun part, you know? Like,
Exactly.
and I think it's like if it was doing our taxes, we'd be all
Right?
happy. Like if it was an
Exactly.
accountant, but it's not. But what is keeps being shown is like stealing people's art, you know, being like, hey, upload your face to this and then it'll just make your face talk and pump out tons of stuff. But I think we all can see this. Like, it's just like stock photos. Like,
Yeah.
we know there's just something intuitively where we can tell.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that's kind of what's the problem? Or do you think that it's going to become so good and so realistic that that will start to work?
I think at some point it's gonna get too realistic because it's already like getting there.
I know.
And it's only been like a year since it was really bad.
Yeah.
And now, like, I've seen videos where I'm like, is this real? I can't tell. Like, there was this video that went like viral on like TikTok and Twitter, and it was this boat doing a race in like Arizona on some lake, and it like went way too fast. It was racing, and then it like flipped up in the air.
I saw that.
Yeah, and I was like, this has to be AI generated.
Was it?
It wasn't.
Okay.
But
Oh, no.
I thought it was AI generated.
You're like telling yourself it is so you can sleep at night.
No, literally. And like, there's other things where I'm like, oh no, that's real. And then I'm like, wait, I was fooled by that. Like,
Yeah.
I get it if my parents are fooled by stuff, but like, I should not be fooled by it. I am like a digital native. Like,
Yeah.
I got Instagram when I was 10 years old. Like, I
Yeah.
cannot be thinking stuff like this.
Yeah.
It's scary.
So would you ever consider at Vlogmi adding that side of things, like not only idea generating and scripting, but then just uploading it to your face and your setup, your fake AI setup?
I don't know. You know, like, we've talked about it for sure. It's just, I'd have to see like when that actually starts to pick up a little bit more, how we feel about it and how people are receiving it, because personally I wouldn't right now think about going in that direction, because I still think that where like the real magic and content lies in like the artistic side of like the creator. But you know, there might be other ways to use it in like video creation that like we haven't even thought of yet. Like, we've played around with adding B-roll or like the text on the screen, things like that. And so there would be other ways to do it as well, but I'd want to see it when it gets to that point where it's more possible to be realistic and how people are feeling about that and how that could look like integrated. But right now I'm not too sure.
When we went for lunch the other week, you brought up a really cool strategy of how you're gaining users. Because I think there's so much noise, like to get an influencer who is just like their inbox is full of brand deals. Hey, can you try this free thing? Blah, blah, blah. How you've created this really cool outreach method and you've really gamified
Yes. Okay. I know what you're
onboarding.
talking- yeah.
Tell me about it.
So
I thought it was so brilliant.
Yeah, my brother and our intern from UT came up with this, Arthur, where we reach out to like influencers, specifically like we started with like the fitness sector, and we know that there would be some friction with getting them on. So we're like, how can we make them want to use this and want to like prove to them that it's going to work? And so like we played around with the idea of betting, like doing a bet with them. And so we're like, okay, well, we bet that your views are going to go up 20%, like using Vlogmi for at least 3 weeks. And so like, if they don't, then okay, like we'll give you $20, but if they do, then amazing. Like, you should keep using it because it's gone up 20%, like keep using it. And so that, we're still like getting people on with that, but it's been interesting. And actually one of the creators that we've onboarded, I guess nearing on a month now, she makes like family videos with like her baby. It's really cute. And one of her videos using Vlogmi has gotten 22.5 million views.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my god, that's
and
so
since
exciting.
she started using Vlogmi, her average views have quadrupled.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's working.
Has
like,
she
luckily.
shared it with anyone? That'd be cool.
Well, you know, she started making content kind of by accident. She was like, I just want to do my baby's hair on camera,
Oh.
like for fun.
Yeah.
And then she like just posted and it like went viral like right off the bat.
Very
And
cool.
so she was like has never been like she never knew much about content creation and
Didn't really think about like the structure.
exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
So we're working with her and her husband and
Oh, cool.
I guess her baby like more closely now because it's so cool that like
Yeah, that's a
right
huge
away.
result.
Yeah, and so yeah, like she's getting brand deals already. Like she's only been posting for like a couple months.
Wow.
And so yeah, it's so cool to see like people using Vlogmi and it actually like has been working.
That's so awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I really want you to have success with like getting more and more people on the platform. So plug the best way to get started. I mean, it is just the website, I guess.
True,
but
just go to vlogmi.ai, vlogmi.ai, make an account, see how you like it. Let's see if it quadruples your views. We want you to go viral. That's our number one priority. And so, yeah, if there's anything you don't like about it, let me know. If there's anything you do like about it, let me know. Yeah,
Very
you can
cool.
message me anywhere.
Yeah. And you guys are open to investors too, right?
Yep. Yeah, we're not like it's not our number one focus at the moment.
Yeah.
Right now we're like pretty focused on building and
Customer base.
yeah, like getting results for like the creators that are on board right now, but I mean if there's someone who wants to put in something, we're happy to talk.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So cool. Thank you so much for coming on. This was
Thank you
like
for
one of the
having
most
me.
inspiring business owners in Austin, Texas,
Oh my
and
gosh,
you're just
thank
like
you.
so integrated in the scene. And yeah, it's so fun to have you around. I don't know, but this was like such a great conversation.
Nice.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for
Appreciate it.
having me. This is great.